A three-wheeled motorcycle. Who would have thought that a motorcycle manufacturer would have been producing one for the last couple of years? And here we have it today. We're going to be looking at the new 2026 Tricity 300. We do make a smaller one as well, the 125, but today it's going to be the 300. We're going to be looking at its design and seeing what its changes from the previous model, and we're going to discuss some of its features as well. The Tricities have been very comfortable to ride, very easy, especially those wanting to get into the motorcycling world. It's a very straightforward bike to kind of get onto. It is a little bit complicated in relation to how its suspension is, leaning in and leaning out. So I hope you stick around, consider leaving a like and a comment, and of course subscribe if you're here for the first time. Special thanks to Tig and his team here at Moran's Bike Shop in Drumshanbo, County Leitrim, for having the bike available for review. My name is Ben, and this is Éire Motorcycle Adventures. Was the essential of the fairings on the bike, and we've got this new look on the front as well, which also integrates a new 3 LED light, and of course you've got your LED lighting as well, mud guards as well with the paneling. The color on this one is milky white, and it looks like it's got a pearlescent. Lovely design there on the seat with of course the Tricity logo, and of course that can be opened, so we can have a good look at that as well. Tricity logo on the side here, kind of a 3D look on the back, and of course we've also got new LED lighting. Let's see if we can get it on for you. Looking at the LED now, so you've got these 3 LEDs. It is quite bright today, so you may not necessarily see that. So where they're broken into different compartments, your low beam, high beam, and of course the daytime running light. Here's a closer look at the LED lighting. Of course we've got our LED indicators both on the left and the right. Really nice tail tidy for a scooter. With the improvement on the design, they've made it a bit more sleek and a lot more sporty looking in relation to its older sibling. Quite like the detailing. You've got the Yamaha detailing on the front there, and of course the way that projects the sloping front as well. I think it looks quite nice. Adjustable windshield is not electric unfortunately, but they are manually bolts that you can take off. So you'd probably have to ride it first, make sure it's set, come home, and you've got another setting. So 2 settings for the windshield. If you're not happy with the standard setup, you can adjust it slightly higher. Right, now we get to the front part now. 14-inch wheels on the front, aluminium alloy. Suspension travel on the front, you've got a double telescopic suspension system on either wheel, and that'll give you about 100 mils of suspension travel. That's pretty much all you'd need on a scooter. Braking performance, you've got these lovely drilled disc brakes, 267 mil, and of course they're ABS as well, and I'd say they're pretty strong. They've continued on with the back as well with the same size disc, so you've also got 267 on the back. Looking at the back, suspension systems, a unit swing, and of course you've got these dual shocks with springs. Suspension travel on the back about 84 millimeters, and there's the 267 mil drilled disc brake there on the back. The engine on the bikes are pretty much well covered. The only part of the engine we can see is just over here. So there's your access point for your oil. Now it's a 4-stroke 292cc, and it develops about 20.6 kilowatts and about 28.2 newton meters of torque. The gearbox on these are a twist and go system. A V-belt automatic is how it's classified. So essentially just twist and you don't need to worry about your gear changes. Fuel economy wise, 3.3 litres per 100. So very fuel efficient on that perspective, and a decent sized fuel tank at 13 litres. Now, of course, where do you fuel up? Being a scooter, most of the bike is encased, so let's take a look at that now. You'll see the panel here. Now, the bike comes standard as keyless, so effectively all we're doing is tap in to activate the key, and then you can turn it on, or open position rather, and then for fuel, and that is located right there. Very similar system to the Honda Adventure 350, also has a keyless system, essentially quite similar. And then of course you can put fuel in to close down, and then of course you've also got the seat setting. Right, some other important information. Seat height 795 millimeters, so essentially nice and low. Wheelbase 1595 millimeters, your ground clearance at 130 millimeters. Wet weight quite considerably heavy there at 240 kilograms. And then, as I said, the fuel capacity at 13 liters. bike also has a very nice braking system called unified brake system. Now what that means is it will balance the braking power between the front and the back, giving you a lot more confidence when you're riding, particularly when you have to use the brakes. So it does its best to balance out the braking forces between front and rear. Rather a nice feature. Multi-wheel technology. Now essentially what that means is that even in your bad road conditions where the roads are quite wet, essentially even if one wheel at the front has reasonably good grip, it's going to give you the confidence and the comfort of the commute ride into work. So essentially one wheel just has to give you enough grip for the multi-leaning wheel technology systems to work, and therefore just ensures that the chances of you dropping and coming down are an absolute minimum. So fairly nice, safe technology as well. Right, let's look at safety systems. Now with most motorcycles, not many of them come with airbags. Now the Tricity 300 is available in certain countries with an airbag, not here in Ireland. So essentially you can get them with an airbag, so depending on which country you're in, a bike with an airbag's a plus. You've got the unified braking system, you've got ABS, traction control, and the multi-leaning technology as well. So a fair amount of technology and sophistication have been put into this bike, giving you a major boost in confidence when you're willing to take this out on the road. Now what happens if you're in traffic and the bike's at a standstill, or you're at the traffic lights and essentially you can't move, but then you're going to have to put your legs over the sides to kind of hold the bike up? Well, Tricity 300 have you covered on that. The standing assist system is a feature built into the bike, and essentially you can activate it and deactivate it at the touch of a button. The first thing we're going to do, we'll just make sure the bike is on first, and you'll either press it once or twice to disable, and that's as simple as that. And it essentially locks the front suspension system, not allowing it to lean, and it holds the bike up in an upright position. I think that is well thought through and a great feature. Right, we're going to take a seat on it now and see how comfortable it is. The seat's like a gel seat, looks fabulous. Everything's within reach as well, so comfort level. Maybe depending on how tall you are, you might want to adjust the windshield as well. So that's how the front is looking to me. So everything fairly accessible on this side, and likewise. There's a cubby here as well, essentially where you can put your wallet. It's not lockable at the moment. Your park brake is located right over here. So there's a park brake for it, and of course your foot brake is right down there. Everything within reach, and it's fairly comfortable. The display we're going to go into shortly. It looks very clear, and there's a 2-split display. The display on the Tricity 300 features a 2.8-inch display on the left side of the bike, and that shows you your motorcycle information, digital speedo, current range, fuel consumption, and so on. On the right is a 4.2-inch display, and that you can obviously pair up your phone through the My Ride app, and you can obviously listen to music, and you can activate your apps through that. Rather great feature. So another bonus is that all the Tricity 300 motorcycles also come with Garmin maps. However, it doesn't necessarily say country specific, so just check with your local Yamaha dealer in relation to that. But according to the Europe brochure, the European countries come as standard. You can get a lot of extras on these. You can check the Yamaha accessories. You can get top cases. There's urban packs that you can get for these. You can get heated seats, heated grips, bags, tank bags, you name it. You can even get an aquapovic exhaust if you feel that way inclined for this bike. So if you're looking at customizing it, Yamaha have a whole list of extras that you can check it out or kit it out with. So be sure to check out Yamaha Genuine Accessories. Right, we had discussed the braking systems on this. Well, it's also a bike that has a parking brake. Now, not generally something you would see. You would generally see a foot brake and front brakes, but never a parking brake. So let's take a look. So we've got our foot brake system with a traditional foot brake lever, and then here it is. That's our park brake. Really cool system, and very much like that, you just give it a pull, and of course it'll lock it in, and then likewise pull it again and it'll release it. Like with most scooters, storage space is very important, and of course they have done really well here as well. So let's take a look at some of the storage solutions that are included on the Tricity 300. First of all, our cubby hole. Small enough for a wallet, maybe a phone. In case you're wondering where the charge point is, charge point on that side, USB-C. For the seat now, put it into the open position, press seat, and there we have it. Two full-size helmets can be put in here, and with a little bit of space in between. However, rather convenient. So if you do any light shopping and that, you can easily put it in here without any issues. Tricity 300 comes available with a smart key, so completely keyless. Put it in your pocket, don't worry about it, get on the bike, push the button, and off you go. And of course you can put the keys and you can put them in that little storage cubby there if you want. Otherwise, personally, to make sure you don't forget them anywhere, keep them in your pocket. But they're quite small, I quite like that as well. Most modern keyless systems, the keys are quite big. That is fantastic size. So there you go, keyless. So let's talk about money now. Ireland, euro, 9,950 euro for something like this. For those that are looking for a fairly decent sized commuter bike that has a capable capacity and of course returns decent fuel efficiency, has some great safety features, offers a more dynamic and comfortable ride for those that like scooters, this could be something for you. Right, let's look at a competitor now. Piaggio MP3 310 would be a direct competitor to this now. Price range 9,650 euro. However, doesn't necessarily compete with this in a bunch of areas. Size disc brakes are smaller, less power, smaller engine, smaller fuel tank as well. Also the styling, sure, the Piaggio, it looks nice, it looks smart, but again you've got the safety systems that are built into the Tricity that are worth it just for that extra price, bit of price difference. Also the Yamaha name, the availability of manufacturers here in the country of Ireland, more so you'll get a Yamaha dealer than you will a Piaggio dealer. I can tell you what, there's probably only one, maybe in the whole country, maybe two, or maybe in Cork, and of course in Dublin. So for specification wise, they've done exceptionally well. The infotainment system is fantastic on the Tricity 300. You've got the integration of the Garmin maps, you've got My Ride, you can obviously stream your music as well if you've got a Bluetooth headset unit, whereas the Piaggio doesn't necessarily have that tech. And if you look at the dash, it's very plain for a new model. It's a bit disappointing there. I reckon they should have had a TFT display, nice color one, but that's where we are. The Piaggio being a direct competitor, in my opinion, between the two, be the Tricity 300. Thanks so very much for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.